ahead. Let's dive into some of these games. Falcons at 49ers in this matchup here.
Hi, Riley.
What's up, Riley?
We don't know. We don't know, Riley. Chris is a crazy human being. We can't control him.
You know, I'm off the rails. It is what it is.
He's off the rails and on the heroin.
If you can't hang, you know, it is.
I'm the one that levels this show out. At times, I can't reel Chris in. So it is what it is.
Here we are. This is after dark here in the Action Lab. Atlanta Falcons visiting the San Francisco 49ers. So this one, San Francisco, at least in the graphic, was -2.5 at this point. And this has kind of changed a little bit. Now it's down to 1.5 favorites in this game. So Atlanta Falcons +1.5 underdogs on the road in San Francisco for this game. +108 for the money line on Atlanta, -126 for San Francisco. Over under total set to 46.5. Atlanta Falcons coming off their most recent win against, sorry, Riley, your Buffalo Bills. Not a great showing by the Bills, but Atlanta, Bijan, Drake London were just firing on all cylinders. Ask Scotty's son about his fantasy team and see how it turned out for him. So, is the ATL lab back, Scotty? Are the Falcons ready? I mean,
you know how this goes, though. The moment we feel good about ATL, it's when it all crumbles. I don't know why it's still 2.5 on DraftKings. You have 1.5, I guess, on FanDuel, but it's still 2.5 on DraftKings. As I just looked. I don't know why the Niners are favored by 2.5, to be honest. I think the Falcons are the better team, but the Falcons are an unpredictable team that's beat the Bills and got shut out 30-0 in Carolina. You don't know fully what you're going to get. I think they're figuring things out. The Niners are getting a little healthier week by week, but still not.
I mean, they just lost
fully healthy.
Lost Fred Warner most recently.
They lost Fred Warner. It sounds like they might get Kittle back this week for the first time in a while.
They might get Brock, which who knows if that's.
I don't know. That's just a Spider-Man meme, and in fact, it might be worse than Mac Jones. To be honest,
Kyle Shanahan wanted Mac Jones, and now he's got him.
Yeah, I don't care who the quarterback is for the Niners. That doesn't move the needle for me at all. Between those two, so I hope the Falcons win this game. I don't have a pick on this one. I'm staying away from it. It feels like a trap. It feels like a lot of money is probably going to fall in on Atlanta after beating Buffalo on Monday night. People are going to be like, yeah, now of course they can beat the Niners. But it's hanging. I guess it's 1.5 on FanDuel, but it's still 2.5 on DraftKings. So I don't have a lean or a pull on this one. I'm cheering for ATL Lab though.
Yeah, I got this number early, so I got this number at 3, which is why I made it my best bet. I don't know if I would be as aggressively on Atlanta if it was still here at 1.5, 2. It's a 2.5. I was still kind of 2.5, but I mean, to get 3 and have that backup in case it comes down to a field goal, it's nice to have for a push. But that being said, I do think that the Atlanta Falcons have a lot of momentum. It is a short week for them, but they do have a little bit of momentum coming off that big win. Bijan and London, I think they got a good rhythm offensively. The 49ers, 32nd ranked run game isn't necessarily going to bail them out. I mean, Chris McCaffrey's been the only healthy dude on this team, but they are getting some dudes back. Shanahan at home, he's been getting a lot out of his team, so that's what's a little scary in this one. But, I mean, to lose Fred Warner and Nick Bosa and there's just a lot of pieces that I think that it's going to be tough for San Francisco to, be able to outlast that week after week after week. So I don't know. They've been really good so far this season. I mean, the fact that the San Francisco 49ers have won the number of games they've won with as little of players as they've had is kind of wild. But that being said, I like the Falcons. I have them +3 in my best bets of the week. Also, I don't know. The under could be sneaky. I mean, is this still at 47.5? I think it is. Under could be sneaky for both of these teams. The road team coming in, Atlanta Falcons coming across the country for this one. And then you have a 49ers team that might not necessarily have a lot of firepower necessarily going on the other side. Under could be an interesting play. Not one of my bets, but just something to consider. Rec, anything on this one?
Well, of course, this is the Sunday Night Football game, so we'll be watching this one live.
We will be watching this one.
I am setting up a little fan face-off. Of course, we got ActionLab setting up a Niners fan for the show.
Are we going to have Piglet in on the show?
Maybe.
Ooh, Piglet. Come on down.
And that sharp-looking Jake Moody jersey?
Speaking of which, how about Moody actually winning a game?
Mm-hmm. Sure did.
Sure did. All right.
You were right all along, Piglet. They never should have let Moody go.
Even though Pinheiro is perfect on the
He's been good, but like we can't rely on that.
I mean,
historically,
these
football. The biggest evidence that these footballs are juiced and like ridiculous is Pinheiro. Actually,
dude.
I'm not joking.
And they stepped on him. They stepped on him last week. They were like, Pinheiro, this little guy.
I'm talking about this dude that's never been able to kick this far in his career. And now, because the footballs are controlled differently and teams are allowed to like do what they do to the footballs with the kicking balls, like, listen, I don't know. We don't have to go down a rabbit hole of like the kicking of footballs, but like the reason people are allowed to kick so much further now is partially because of the footballs. And I think that's actually a high percentage of why. I think it adds 7-8 yards. Honestly, I mean,
we're not. It's not like we almost had a record-breaking kick last week. If it wasn't for a timeout, the
Packers called timeout.
Yeah, because the Packers don't like fun.
Actually, with the juice balls, I really want to see Aubrey attempt one from like 75-80.
I would love to see that. I mean,
if he gets it right, I don't know about 80, but maybe 75. Yeah.
I mean, he definitely has the leg for 75. I mean, we've seen him like attempt from like 64 and then just hit it with it.
By the way, I don't think this is good for football. I think you should have to actually move the ball to kick a field goal. But call me old school.
Hauser, am I good to come in for this game as well? Hauser, you are
hell yeah,
man. You are welcome. Let's go.
We'll eliminate Rat.
I'll get you
easily.
Also, Captain Irvin, this is the week for pitch, right?
Sure. whatever you want to think.
This is the week for Pitts. You're damn right.
Denver this year.
Dallas does play Denver. I can't remember where it's at.
It's here. But it's in Denver.
Is it here?
That's the one. Yeah, it was like that's the one advantage there that you would want to have against the Dallas team that's doing well offense.
That's gonna be a really interesting team. What happens when you have a team with no offense and a good defense against a team with a good offense and no defense?
It's like
interesting,
bizarro world that we're going to be seeing.
You have the movable force and the stoppable object.
Exactly. See, it's going to be one of the games of the week, guaranteed. I have no idea what that game's going to produce. We'll get into that one later, by the way. All right, not later tonight. Later.
Yes.
Was it next week? Is that next week?
Don't know.
Anyway, it's coming up soon. All right, let's go on to the next game, and we have the Colts and the Chargers coming up in this next preview. And this will also be a nice little measuring stick to see where things are at with these two teams. With the Colts coming in to LA to play this battered Chargers team with a bunch of injuries, yet both teams still trying to find ways to win, and they are. So Colts doing well. They're surprise of the season. They're 1.5-point underdogs on the road in Los Angeles. The Colts plus 108 to win this game. The Chargers minus 126. Over under total set at 48.5. And Scotty, I believe this is one of your best bets of the week.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't win last week for the first time with the Colts, but I'm going to keep riding them. You think about the home field advantage for the Chargers in LA, it's probably close to 1.5. So they're basically saying these two teams are even, which I would feel like if the Chargers are healthy, I'd be like, all right, that makes sense. But the Chargers are still not healthy. And I think the Colts end up winning this game. I mean, the Chargers escape Miami on a great play, don't get me wrong, from Herbert to escape a sack that allowed him to throw it in the flat to Lad McConkey, and he breaks the tackle and takes it down, and they get a game-winning field goal. But, like, the Chargers are battling just to survive. The Colts have looked more comfortable. This is not a tough road site. Daniel Jones has played really, really good football. Jonathan Taylor has been electric. The Chargers still don't have a running back right now because Amari Hampton's hurt. Their O-line's hurt. You have issues at wide receiver due to injuries with the Chargers. Quentin Johnson didn't play well last week. I don't know if he's going to play this week. You have Ladd in like an old man in what's his name? Why am I drawing a blank on his name? That they re-signed.
Oh, Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen. Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like this game is a bit of a toss-up, but if I had to pick a team, I'd pick the Colts, and then I get plus 1.5. Give me the Colts. Give me the Colts in this one.
Yeah, it's hard to go against what they've been doing, especially with Jonathan Taylor has been electric all season long. He's been the engine of that team. And then you still have Daniel Jones, who's still being able to like move the ball down the field. Their offensive game plan, their offensive coordinators have put them in positions to win these games and put up points. Their defense has been playing okay as well. Los Angeles, it feels a little weird to me because like Los Angeles, when you look at this game from the 1,000-foot view, you're like, yeah, one team is really hurt. The other team is one of the best in the NFL. It kind of makes it feel a little trappy because it's like you got 82% of the public, 92% of the money on the Colts.
There's a lot of trappy bets this week.
Yeah.
And I'm on some of the traps, to be honest. I'm riding some of the traps.
We're riding some traps this week. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a trap. But we're this might be one of them. But either way, I mean, the eyeball test says Colts should win this game. And if you're getting a 1-loss team of the Colts plus 1.5 in a neutral environment, basically, I think you'll take that. I think you'll take it. By the way, the Colts 1-1 on the road with the only win coming against the Tennessee Titans. So, but again,
not a real team.
Yeah.
Who was the loss?
Who did they lose to?
I don't know. I was asking.
Let me see.
I mean, 2 games is a ridiculously small sample size, so
they lost to the Giants.
Giants.
I forget that was home on the road. I know they lost to the Giants at some point in time.
Who did?
No, the Chargers.
We're talking about the Colts right now.
Oh,
The Colts, they lost to the Rams.
the Rams.
Okay.
That's where it was. Okay. So there you go.
So they beat a bad team and they lost to a good team on the road.
Yep.
Nothing to take from that.
Well, they'll have they'll have an average. Would you put the Chargers as a good team or an average team at this point?
Average. Right now, with the health, average.
Okay. All right. There you go. Let's go to the Rams and the Jaguars next. So this game will be one where the Rams need to get back on track too. The Jags ended up losing last week. Los Angeles Rams on the road, -3 as favorites. 3-point favorites on the road in Duval.
No, they're not in Duval. They're in
Oh no!
London.
They're in London. You're right. I forgot because I was all of a sudden I look. I'm like, wait a minute. This is an early game. This is the London Jaguars. Sorry, I said Jacksonville. The London Jaguars are hosting this one. How's the fan base in London for the Jags? Are they bought in?
I don't think so.
I don't. Like they've only
How about they lose a lot when they're out there, which doesn't help their, building your fan base because they lose.
I mean, the Jags were the experiment that they sent out there for the the early on years of going to London, and now look at it.
I'm gonna do a code yellow. You keep talking.
Code yellow in the chat. Los Angeles Rams are -148 on the money line. Jacksonville +126. Over under total at 44.5. Yeah. So this is an interesting one for the Rams. Yeah, Puka Nacua kind of battling some injuries over the last week. He kind of left that last game, came back. Then they were kind of like, hesitant with getting him mixed in again. But this one, I mean, I don't have a bet in this one. I don't know if Scotty has his best bet in this one either. Let me double check. He does not. So neither of us have a best bet in this one. I would say the under feels kind of in play for these. These games, these Euro games, I want to say are leaning more towards the under than anything else. So this is no different. I get a Jags team that isn't exactly... You never know what you're going to get with them, especially in these London games. It's just, you have the long travel, the jet lag, everything that goes hand in hand with it. You get all the kind of the media that goes around these London games, kind of just saps a lot of energy out of these players. I think the under, there's a couple, if I was going to bet on this one, the LA Rams under 24.5 total points, I think is feels good. I don't know how beat up or not their Puka is still. But Jacksonville, they have a top 10 scoring defense right now. So their defense has been playing pretty decent football. You could also take the first quarter under 7.5. I think both these teams are going to start out slow, which is I think where the line is at right now. So lots of grindy, kind of low scoring games. I feel like every time there's a London game, it's kind of underwhelming, and I'm always like, man, I wish we could give London a better game, but we can't. And so this is going to fall right into that. The only issue with this is the unders are overwhelmingly the current where the money's at. Public, 90% of the public, 94% of the money on the under, which is the scary part about this one. But that being said, I expect this game to be a little underwhelming being in London. So again, the unders are what I would kind of stick around to in this one, but otherwise, no bet.
It can't be as underwhelming as last week.
It can't be, no. And I think, but again, I was mentioning a top 20 defense or a top 10 scoring defense in the Jacksonville Jaguars, and you have some banged up with Puka Nacua, and then it's a London game, traveling, jet lag, media availability all week. It's just, I think it just takes a lot out of players. So that's why if I had a bet, I would lean in the unders.
I would agree with you, but that's also concerning because I feel like that's an obvious thing with London bets. So it might be a trap for us, but I would agree that if I had to bet something on this, it'd be under. Feels like at most, it's like a 23-20 game or something like that, which still hits the under here.
Yeah.
So
I was telling Rec, 90% of the public, 94% of the money on the under. Like,
not surprising.
Yeah.
Which is why I won't bet it, but it feels right. The Rams may not have Puka Nacua in this one. I'd actually lean towards they're not going to have him this week.
And It's okay. The Jags will have Brian Thomas, but he won't catch to make up for that.
Well, did you see Brian Thomas had a long touchdown pass last week that was brought back due to an offsides on our boy, Travis Hunter Jr.
Yeah.
But listen, I think the Rams at the end of the year, I fully expect to be in the mix to be in the Super Bowl. I don't think they're playing great right now. I think the Jaguars are playing pretty good football right now, but I don't expect them to be in the mix for the Super Bowl at the end of the season at all. So it's an interesting, but in this matchup this week, we'll see. You never know. You never know how teams are going to react to being in London. Obviously, the Jags go a lot, but it doesn't seem to help them. They don't necessarily play great out in London, but they're generally low-scoring games. So I'll hold to that.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next one here. Next one, we got the Raiders and the Chiefs.
Yeah, buddy.
This one, a little AFC West rivalry. Well, I guess it's not. I mean, it's not as much of
it's a rival.
It's a rivalry. It's just not maybe as competitive as it used to be.
No one's competitive, Chris. We can still call them rivalries.
We have the Vegas Raiders, 11.5 points underdogs on the road in Kansas City. The Vegas Raiders plus 520 on the money line, minus 720 on the Chiefs. Over under set at 45.5. That's a big number there, Scotty. A big number. I mean, from a spread standpoint, I don't know. The Raiders have looked kind of rough. They have their flashes, but do you like your boys to win big?
Yeah, they'll cover this line. I'm not betting it because I'm going to the game and I'm going with my son. I don't want to think about the spread. I just want to enjoy the game. So this isn't one of my bets of the week. I do think the Chiefs cover. The Raiders offensively have been remarkably, especially in their passing game. I'm shocked how bad their passing game with Geno Smith coming in. It sounds like their number one wide receiver, Jacoby Myers, is going to get moved before the trade deadline. Not this week, but before the trade deadline, he's going to get moved. They're already sellers. They already know. Ashton Genty's been a little hit and miss week to week. He's either awful or he's had one really good week, but that's it. The Chiefs get their number one offensive weapon back for the first time in a year and 21 games, I feel like. And that doesn't include playoffs. Rashee Rice comes back. I think people are like, Rashee Rice is going to be moving forward a top 10, if not top 5 wide receiver in fantasy in the NFL. He's that good. The Chiefs offense is, as I said before, and no one believed me, and they keep clicking, they are the best version they have been in at least 3 years. This offense is really, really good. The defense has some hit and miss, but held Detroit, who had averaged 40 over the last 3 to 17. So that's pretty good. There were multiple people, including Rex's best friend, Colin Cowherd, and Adam Schefter, who ranked the Chiefs as the number 1 team in their power rankings this week in the NFL. They are also the odds-on favorite, along with Buffalo, on at least DraftKings, at plus 650 to win the Super Bowl this year at 3-3. This Chiefs team, everyone laughed at me last week. Everyone laughed at me, and I said, just wait. And then they dominated, and we'll get into the Detroit game when we talk about that. We'll talk about Detroit when we talk about that game. But everyone laughed at me, but I said, just wait. This team is the best version of the Chiefs in years. And now they add their best offensive weapon. The only weird thing is their left tackle is like up in the air. I might have to go in a second. Hold on. It's not a hot take. But thank you, Rec.
It's not.
Or Cuban, not Rec. Cuban. I listen. I'll be at the game, so I hope they win by a ton. I hope they dominate the Raiders. The Raiders are not good. The Raiders are way worse than I thought they would be, to be honest. I thought the Raiders would be competitive, much better than they were last year. They're kind of like they were last year, if not
Feels
worse.
about the same.
Like they're not. They have not played good football. They got a win last week, but that was against the Titans, who should be 0-6 in a dumpster fire. So at home, you get Rashee Rice back for the first time in forever. I expect the Chiefs to dominate this game, and I'll be right back because my son is outside my door.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs are going to win this game. I think that there's no question about that. The Raiders, their offense, 226 yards against the Titans, but they struggle without Colton Miller, Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers, I don't think, is slated to play in this game either. So I feel like their safety blanket that they won't have. The Chiefs defense starting to look better. Quality performance against the Lions offense that had only, I think, a little less than 300 yards and only 17 points. So, like, if the defense starts getting better for Kansas City, which it seems to be, they're trending that direction, I just don't feel like the Raiders are going to have enough points in this game to keep up, which is why it's like, all right, 11 and a half. I mean, if I had probably a lean, it would probably be Kansas City at 11 and a half, but I'm not going to be betting that. It's going to be a little bit too big of a number for me, but I would kind of lean that direction if you put a gun to my head and said, hey, make a bet here on the spread. So Kansas City, they're kind of in an upswing here. And it's going to be interesting to see. To be able to get Rashee Rice back and to be able to put him in a position against a bad Raiders team to kind of get in a nice little rhythm going into his first game. I think this is the perfect opportunity for it, and I expect that to happen here in this one. So Kansas City should get the win. Will they win by double digits? I don't know. You could also actually trickle a little bit on the under 16.5 for Las Vegas under team total. Because I don't think they're going to score a lot of points in this game. I think it's going to be a very low scoring game for the Raiders against this defense. So
if you're taking the under on the Raiders, you might just want to take under a period, especially if you think Raiders will cover. Yeah,
what is this? 45 and a half, I want to say. Yeah. I think it's still at 45 and a half. So Raiders, I don't have a lot of faith in, especially that offense, missing Brock Bowers and some of those. Ashton Genty, I don't see getting off in this one either. So, yeah. I think
Raiders do historically play the Chiefs close, even though they're not a good team.
That's only been true the last 2 seasons when the Chiefs offense has been subpar. When the Chiefs offense is good, they have not played the Chiefs close whatsoever. So historically is only the last 2 seasons. Now I listen. We also have MVP odds, Chris. I talked about Super Bowl odds. I don't know if you've looked at who the odds-on favorite to win the MVP of the NFL.
I'm going to guess Baker.
That would be wrong.
Is Mahomes? Because
I think Mahomes is Mahomes up there number 1 now.
Clear number 1.
So, because I know Josh Allen took a hit. He's been taking a couple hits the last couple weeks. Baker, I think, is still probably in the mix, right? Is Baker still in the mix?
And people are losing. Baker's, I think, 2nd or 3rd. Which, listen, if the season ended right now and people wanted to give Baker the MVP, I'd have no qualms. 0. I'd be like, absolutely. Like, that's fine. If you view him as the MVP of the NFL, he's had a great first 6 weeks. No issues. Mahomes moving forward is just going to be the favorite. I mean, Mahomes, without his number one wide receiver.
Oh, boy, he's going with this again.
And without Worthy for kind of half the season thus far, leads the NFL in two pretty important stats, Chris. I don't know. You tell me if these are important. Yards from scrimmage and touchdowns. Are those important? Are those like key stats to think about?
They're key stats.
They feel pretty important. Mahomes, yards from scrimmage, number one in the NFL. Touchdowns, number one in the NFL when you combine rushing and passing. Okay, so I think it's not a foregone conclusion, but it's only going to get better.
Chairman of the board. I hope Rice isn't driving himself to the stadium.
I mean,
he will, and he'll be fine.
Is he taking the bus? Is he?
Fire in your gut?
Who drove?
Maybe he's taking. Who drove? Who drove here? Has he got a fire?
In your gut?
By the way, didn't Gannon have another crazy quote this past week with?
He did.
Michael,
it was today, I think.
Was it today where he was like?
Someone asked him about like how, like when the emotion comes out of it, especially when there's like injuries or like when the first time he felt that way, emotions so mad. He didn't skip a beat with a straight face. He goes, "When a quarterback went to jail in 2007."
It's like,
just a really awkward silence, and then the press conference ends.
Yeah, just
Chairman. How does Rice have a driver's license? I honestly don't know if he does. Maybe he doesn't.
He might not.
But the most ironic tweet I saw today was from someone tweeted, everyone's acting like he came back from injury, but this dude had reckless decisions and made poor choices kind of thing. Until you hear who it was that sent out the tweet, it was fucking Ryan Leaf. And I was like, dude, have some self-awareness. Shouldn't you, of all people, be forgiving of people's mistakes?
Ryan Leaf.
Rice made a terrible decision. There's no doubt about that. But of all people to call him out, Ryan Leaf called him out. And I'm
that
like,
is
really?
Great.
Really?
Takes one to know one.
Wow.
I'm like, dude, if anything, you should be the one propping him up like he made a mistake. Let's not. Because Ryan Leaf seems to have full. Obviously, the NFL career didn't go well, and he had terrible decisions. But seems to have figured out now where like he's sober, he's all this, he's a good human being. But like that comment to me was like, whoa,
it's kind of wild.
Really?
All right, what's the next game?
All right, next game. Giants at Broncos. Coming up next. So Giants are 7. I only found 7. Scotty found 7.5, which is
I see 7.5.
Chris low-key tried to question whether I actually had this number.
I was like, I haven't seen,
which is offensive. Kind of. He thinks I'm like cheating the system.
No, I was offended. I was like, where are these bizarre? Because he was like, oh, I got a 7.5 on New York Giants plus 7.5, and I was like,
it was 7.5 earlier on DraftKings, and then I will literally send you a screenshot. It's 7.5 on ESPN Bet right now.
So, hey, Chris, FanDuel isn't the only betting source out there. You can
Correct.
get
No, I looked in other sources too. I mean, I looked at
Did
a
you
couple
look at
others.
ESPN Bet? Because you sure
I
didn't.
mean, I thought ESPN Bet was trash, though. I thought that no one uses it.
You can, though.
You can. But, I mean...
And it's 7.5 there. It's 7.5, Chris.
Okay.
Chris was trying to call me out.
No.
I was like, really?
I was like, because, I mean, I like 7.5. If I could get 7.5, I mean, I like 7, too.
Change your bet. Change your bet.
No, I already locked my bets in. But either way,
You change them a lot.
My bet. So this is Scotty's bet of the week. But the Giants right now coming into Denver, mostly 7. You can find some 7.5. It sounds like across the betting atmosphere. So that's kind of where the line is now. The Broncos minus 330 on the money line, Giants plus 265, and then the over-under set at 40.5, which it's a low total. I kind of like the under. I kind of think the under might be a very, even though 40 and a half
if you like
is,
the under, you have to like the Giants.
If you like
the
correct.
under, you gotta compound that.
Correct. And I bet 7 on Sunday night when it was 7 when we were talking about it, because I was like, Broncos offense hasn't done anything for me to prove that they deserve to be a 7-point favorite in any game. Really, like the competition they've played, and then just the types of games that they've played up until this point hasn't exactly shown that their offense is good enough to pull away from teams. So that being said, I do like, if I was going to bet this game, it would be taking the Giants plus the 7. Broncos coming back home from London this week, so that's part of a little bit of this as well. And then the Giants just seem to be on that upswing. Giants getting nice little wins, especially against the Eagles, which we're trying to figure out what the Eagles are, because the Eagles have lost to both of these teams. So it's kind of interesting to see where that's at. But that being said, I think the Denver defense is going to be able to, at home, do very well against this Giants offense. Given the fact that, they have had some success, I think this Broncos defense is a really, really good unit. But I don't believe that the offense of the Broncos is where it needs to be. I think there's some issues at quarterback. I think there's some issues at play calling. I think there's some issues just in how they're approaching their offensive game plan, especially coming back.
It's also blaming coaching.
It's a little, you got to be able to execute, and you got to be able to call the right plays. I mean, sometimes I'm looking at these play calls, and it's like, can we throw something like not in the flats? This feels like Russell Wilson all of a sudden on certain drives that, you're just looking at this like, what is happening here? But that being said, I do think the Broncos win this game. The Broncos at minus 7, or this 7-point spread, 76% of the money, 76% of the public on the Giants to cover the big number here in this one.
I thought it would be higher than that. And that was what my next question is, where the percentages are, because I thought it would be close to 90 for the Giants.
Yeah, it's 76 and 7 on public and money.
Doesn't surprise me. Obviously, you had a national TV game where the Giants beat the Eagles. People are going to ride that.
Yep.
You have the Broncos national TV game, but in the morning that I don't know how many people are watching, but they look
if they watch
offensively,
it looked bad,
disgusting. I agree with you, but I think some of that play calling might be to protect your quarterback. The offense right now for the Broncos isn't good. The defense is playing well, but again, the Broncos have had 3 free wins. They've had the third easiest schedule to this point in the NFL. So we'll see moving forward. This is a win the Broncos need to get. This is an important win for the Broncos to continue that momentum and get to 5-2. Listen, I think the Broncos are that pass rush is gonna present a lot of problems for Jackson Dart. Obviously, without Malik Neighbors, that's huge for the Giants. But I have a bet on the Giants. I have the Giants plus 7.5. I don't think the Broncos should be favored by 7.5 against anyone, much less a team that seems to be ascending a little bit in the Giants with the quarterback change. I know they lost to the Saints in ugly fashion in between the 2 good wins they had with Jackson Dart at quarterback. But Jackson Dart looks real to me. Now, it'll be interesting to see against this D-line if he's able to create, extend the play, get some runs, get outside the pocket and make some throws like he's done through his first 3 weeks, because the Broncos defense is going to be the toughest he's faced. There's no doubt about that. And he may not, but the Broncos offense right now, I just can't trust. I can't trust the Broncos offense until they show me something, anything. I mean, they were egregiously bad in the second half last week against a Jets defense that was a bottom 5 defense in the NFL going into that game. It's not like the Jets defense was playing well going into that. So until the Broncos, and you're coming back from London, that has to have some effect on it. Maybe the Broncos, this is a statement game for the Broncos, and they just absolutely annihilate the Giants. That could happen. That could absolutely happen.
We talked about a lot of trap games this week, guys. There might be a lot of traps. Like,
It's a trap.
But to me, getting 7.5, where basically you're saying the Broncos have to win by double digits, I don't see them beating this Giants team by double digits. I don't. So Broncos may win, but it'll be by 7 or less, in my opinion.
This will also be the toughest game so far for Jackson Dart in his on the road that he's faced.
Yep.
He's only faced one team on the road, and that was the Saints, which we all know the Saints aren't much at this point.
And he didn't play well.
And he didn't play well. On the road in Denver is a tougher environment. You got the altitude, the fans show up. So this will be a tougher test for sure. So far, one of his toughest that he's faced. So we'll see what happens. But I do like the Broncos to win this game. I think I think you're going to find it a lot closer than what you should expect. Next up, Eagles and Vikings. Whew. This one is...
I don't trust either team.
I think the right bet to make in this one is to just hold your money. Don't make any bets. That's the right decision.
This one, you just don't know what you're getting with either team a lot of the times, and especially, I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles. It's been a rough go for them. So Eagles 2.5-point favorites on the road in Minnesota. The Eagles minus 132 on the money line. Minnesota Vikings plus 112. Over under set at 43.5. I think we have 1.5 spread on here, but 2.5 is what I'm seeing right now. So that's where we are sitting on this one. Scotty, you want to go in on this one first?
I don't have a great feel on this one. I'm not that high on the Vikings. I can't trust that team. I don't think they're very good. They're fine, but not great. The Eagles are a mess right now. And it's weird. I've seen a lot of people in the media this week being like, well, this is what happens to the Eagles. Everyone doubts them, and then they turn it on after a couple losses. I'm like, that didn't happen last year. And in fact, I don't think that happened 2 years before that when they made the Super Bowl. Like, they were hot the whole way. When it goes for the Eagles, we watched what happens 2 years ago when they were like 12-1 or wherever they were, and then they crumbled and fell apart. This team doesn't seem aligned right now. The passing game is a mess. AJ Brown's furious. Jalen Hurts is playing poorly at best. The defense isn't as good as it was last year. The offensive line isn't even playing up to the standards of last year. The run game hasn't worked at all after last year, where it worked phenomenally well. Like, the Eagles are an enigma to me right now because, like, they're 4-2. I think they're very fortunate to be 4-2. Could they, when you look on paper, could they turn around? Absolutely. And it could happen any week. But until it does, I can't trust them. So I would lean. No, I don't. I don't even have a lean in this one because I don't trust the Vikings either.
I don't. This is a tough one. I'll try to convince you towards my best bet of the week at Minnesota plus 2.5. So Minnesota plus 2.5. This is a good spot for the Vikings coming off a bye. You got offensive-minded coaches, 2 weeks to prepare. Typically, that's a nice, little like preparation going into it. I'm worried about the Philadelphia corners in this one. They just got beat up by Wan'Dale Robinson and Lil Jordan Humphrey last week. And they have to face Jordan Jefferson potentially, and
Jordan Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson, sorry, and Jordan Addison, without Quinyon Mitchell. I don't think Quinyon Mitchell's playing, right? Which I think is a big deal. So Kevin O'Connell won 2 of the last 3 after a bye week. Only lost by 2 points against Detroit last year in Minnesota. Eagles are in a tough place. Ton of injuries. Eagles low. I mean, this is a low point in there, right? I mean, it's kind of like, do you buy low? But it's a 4-2 team. So like, how low is it? A 17-point loss to the Giants feels low. And then you also have the second-ranked defense in EPA per play coming off a bye week in the Minnesota Vikings against an Eagles team that's kind of struggling offensively. I mean, we saw the Denver Broncos offense come back on this Eagles team, and their offense is not good. So if you have a Minnesota Vikings team with a good offensive mind and some weapons that they can throw the ball around, I just lean towards getting the +2.5 at home in this one against a team that's, I mean, locker room issues. You got all sorts of things happening. Feels like a good spot for the Vikings.
Joe Wentz is starting.
So there you go. Did I convince you?
Yeah, Wentz is probably going to play again for Minnesota. Listen, I think the biggest thing is I think it's a massive coaching mismatch. I think O'Connell's way better than Sirianni as a head coach and as an offensive mind. There's no doubt about that. You talked about the bye week, which helps, but the Eagles also have 10 days because they played on Thursday.
Sure.
So it's not as big of a deal as maybe a normal bye week versus a normal team. Yeah, I probably lean Vikings. I just don't trust either of these teams.
Yeah.
I right now.
I
don't know.
That's fair. I mean, Minnesota's been kind of a weird team too, so I totally get it. Rec, any other thoughts on this game?
Like I said, like the right movements to not make a bet. Both of these teams are like, what are they really like? We're the real pushing them stand up.
Well, we'll find out coming this weekend. We'll see. We'll see if the Eagles continue to struggle and not quite look the same, because right now they haven't gotten out of that.
Again, I would lean Vikings. So I think, while I won't bet it, I think I'd lean your side, Chris.
All right, there we go. Got him convinced a little bit. Got kind of on my side of the fence. We'll take it. Let's.
It's like with like trying to get your wife on for the live stream. It's like, got a little bit.
it just takes a little bit of, you gotta put it out there. You gotta make your case and see how that ends up panning out. Let's get to the next one here though. We got the Steelers and we got the Bengals.
Tomorrow night.
AFC North Thursday night football division rivalry here. Cincinnati at home, 5.5 point underdogs at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers -240 on the money line. Cincinnati +198. Over under set at 44.5. Rec, last week you said this was one of the guaranteed bets. When they won last year.
He's going to go the opposite
and then
way this week.
You said the week after your guaranteed bet is always the bet opposite. Is that still true?
I mean, not always. There are a couple of things here. So first off, Mike Tomlin historically bad on Thursday Night Football, divisional game on the road. So the Bengals just historically bad at home against Pittsburgh. I saw a wild stat today. Including the playoffs, the Bengals have won 5 of their last 27 games at home against the Steelers. At 44.5, maybe you go under, just because whenever the Steelers do lose, if the Steelers do play a game like this, an ugly Thursday night game, it's going to get real ugly, like 17-13 kind of ugly. So the under looks nice. If I had to pick a side, I'd still go Cincinnati. So overall, outside of Calvin Austin, Steelers are a healthy team. Bengals may or may not have Trey Hendrickson. I'm not picking a side here. I would lean Cincy, but God, like in normal circumstance, I would take them outright. But they're just so bad. And they're historically bad at home for some reason. So
has there ever, in the history of the NFL, felt like a game more important for a team that's 4-1 against a team that's 2 and are they 2-3 or 2-4? I forget if
2
they
and
have
4. 2 and 4.
Okay.
They have not had it by yet.
Ironically, this feels massive because
It
if the
does.
Steelers lose this game, that puts the Bengals and the Ravens, because the Browns are done, kind of back in the mix. Where if the Steelers win this game, the Bengals feel
Out of it.
pretty done. And
Actually,
then,
if the Steelers win, the division's locked up. I'll say it now.
Oh.
If they win, the division's done.
it should be, but like, still the odds are the Steelers are the odds-on favorite to win the division, but it's not. Ravens on a bye. They get Lamar back next week, so like I know they've won one game,
And they have
I
an easier schedule, I think, don't they?
It's so
They do.
wild.
It's much easier. The Steelers have a hard schedule after this.
It's
So-
more that the Steelers just the NFC North or AFC
AFC.
North is the worst division in football right now.
Which is something you almost never hear.
It's just bad. Like the Steelers are 4-1, and everyone should be like, "Yeah, the Steelers are going to take this." And it's like, are they though? Like, I hope they do. I hope they. I would much rather play the Steelers in the playoffs as a Chiefs fan than, Burrow should be back if they do make the playoffs, or
Then like it's
A
also
Ravens
It's also Joe Flacco playing, which I do feel like makes an impact on this over Jake Browning. I
in
feel like
like
that actually makes a little bit of a difference in this game towards Cincinnati.
maybe I don't know. I think it's pretty similar. I'm shocked that the Packers weren't able to get. I think they had one sack last week against Joe I'm sorry,
Joe
not
Flacco.
Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
In Cincinnati. I would expect the Steelers to get after him and force him to throw the ball quickly. T. Higgins has been a nothing burger this year. I actually saw a stat that there are a couple wide receivers in KC, not named Xavier Worthy and Rashi Rice, that have better numbers than T. Higgins does this year.
Taekwon,
No, it wasn't even Taekwon. It was
Hollywood.
and Juju, actually. But I don't know. I don't like betting the Steelers on the road as a 5.5 point favorite in any instance right now, because I think the Steelers are a perfectly average team.
Yeah.
And listen, the Bengals have been bad. Obviously, losers of 4 straight since Joe Burrow went out, and looked awful in a lot of those games. They kind of came back last week late, but it was kind of like after it was already decided. It looked the score was closer last week than it should have been with Cincy, but for the first like 2 quarters and a half, I mean, Joe Flacco had like nothing. He did nothing. Like literally, like might have been less than 10 yards from scrimmage.
Still more than Fields.
Yeah. I think for this one, if I'm with you guys, I don't want to go either way. If I had a lean, I probably would take Cincinnati plus 5.5. I was looking at some of the Cincinnati Bengals teams that they've lost to over the last 3 out of those 4 weeks. A really good Vikings defense, a really good Broncos defense, and a Packers defense that we think is.
But they lost all those games by how much, Chris?
So they lost 27-18, 28-3, and 48-10. So they lost. Yeah, I mean the Broncos.
They lost by a lot.
They lost by a lot.
I think they have the worst. I think the Bengals might have the worst point differential in the NFL right now.
I think it's Baltimore.
Is it
Baltimore was lost by 1,000,000 points.
I'll check, but yeah,
Double
I'll
check.
check to make sure. But I really think it's Baltimore.
I think Shamar Stewart is coming from his ankle injury, right? And then I think Trey Hendrickson, is he playing? He has a chance to play, I think.
He has a chance to play.
So
Okay. The Ravens.
He's not going to be healthy if he's
no.
Actually, the Bengals are neck and neck with the Titans for worst point differential.
But who has the worst?
Since he's -80 versus -78.
Yeah. I thought since he might have the worst point differential in the league right now.
They're
They're a bad football team.
They are.
Oh, I agree.
And I mean, Joe Flacco, second week under this offense, so we'll see if he can continue to like build on it. But I mean, I could see this. I don't know. I'm just leaving it alone. If I had a lean, it might be Cincinnati, but don't feel good about it whatsoever.
Yeah, you get minus 80 with Cincy. You get minus 78 with Tennessee. Minus 64 with the Browns. And then it drops into the 40s. Like,
Yeah.
the Bengals they're 2-4, but they're really bad since Joe Burrow's gone out.
Yeah.
Flacco is
really bad.
Flacco's
Yeah,
a big
but it is-
upgrade
I don't
over
think
Browning.
Flacco's an upgrade maybe over Browning, but I don't think it's a big upgrade.
It's not a big upgrade, but definitely like I definitely feel a little bit better about the Steelers if Browning was in.
Browning will throw you a couple. Where Flacco could too, though. Flacco throws the other team. He didn't last week, but he could.
Also, Flacco's probably smart enough to like get the ball out quickly to make sure this front four doesn't get to him.
Yeah.
Public and the money on this Steelers 5 minus 5.5. It's split down the middle. Public 50-50. Money 57% of the money is on the Bengals, 43% on the Steelers. So it feels like it's right down the middle. People are split on this one just like we are.
Yeah.
So
Another low note, like Steelers, like there's a lot of times where they go up against a really bad offensive line, like, oh yeah, they can take care of business, and they don't even touch the quarterback. Like you definitely think they should with all the weapons they have on that side of the ball.
I thought that with the Packers last week, and they didn't. They had one sack against Flacco, which
exactly.
is shocking.
So exactly, you would think that like TJ and Nick Herbig and Highsmith and Queen and Hayward will all get to the quarterback. Who knows? Even Jalen Ramsey had a couple of sacks out of the slot blitz last week.
it's Jaron in the chat. Welcome in. First time. Welcome in. Who's your team and where you're from? Like to get to know you a little bit. The way Rodgers been playing, he might be better than Sam Darnold.
Real quick, did we ever think that sentence was gonna be put in a chat? Like Rodgers being better than Sam Darnold?
like
it's like Rodgers might actually be better than him.
I think Sam Darnold has played better than Rodgers this year, but like
I'd say so as well.
which also is insane. But like
the fact
that we're even putting that in the universe is wild.
We've come a long way. We've come a long way in the NFL, haven't we?
Yeah, Rodgers, too many short throws.
Although,
if you want to play it to watch for the Steelers the rest of the season on offense, watch Big Darnell Washington, number 80. Dude is an absolute monster of a human being.
He
not as like an
wide
AB
open
monster.
for a catch. Was that last week or the week before where he had a long one?
Very first play of the game last week.
But
yeah, very first play of the game.
yeah.
There's a play action, slipped up behind the defense. He's built like an offensive tackle, and he can still run routes and
it's
make
crazy.
some good catches. 6'7". Oh, like he's listed as his combine weight, which everyone says that's the worst kept secret. He's more like 300 plus pounds.
He's heavier than that for sure.
Jaron, I'm a Ravens fan. We don't have too many Ravens fans, so welcome. It's good to have you.
Mainly because Ravens fans hate you guys.
Ravens fans have they've given us a lot of trouble.
Rick, we have a new Ravens fan. You don't have to put that out there immediately.
Seriously, we're trying to make a good impression with all the new Ravens fans coming in. You know, we appreciate all fans of all fan bases.
It's not my fault. I'm right.
Hey, we're all right. Don't make it just about you.
Jaron, question for you for a Ravens fan. How do you feel about your boys after the bye week with Lamar coming back and an easier schedule? Do you have optimism? Especially, we're talking about the AFC North here, which is kind of wide open still. It's like
it feels weird that a 1-5 team is still in the mix. That's how bad that division is.
Yeah. By the way, Baltimore is still plus 175 to win the AFC North. They're number 2 behind Pittsburgh, not by far margin. They're right there, which is wild to me. But
yeah, if Steelers win, the division is theirs. If not, they've probably lost the division. It's wild to say that with the circumstances.
I want chaos. I want the Bengals to win this game. I want chaos.
There's a good chance they do. Like the money. What's the money line at 220? It might be worth it to just throw a few bucks on there and see what happens.
Oh, that would.
I'm not gonna do it, but it would. But if someone did, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, this will be tomorrow night.
No arguments.
Tomorrow night, we'll be watching Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. So we'll see what happens. But let's get to this next one. Bucks and Lions, which I think could be a really fun game this weekend. Might be one of the better games that we'll be keeping our eyes on. But Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 5.5-point underdogs on the road in Detroit. We got Tampa Bay at plus 220 to win the game. You got
Brendan Wreck, Brother Jamar's washed. There's no way they're winning against Pittsburgh. Are you a Steelers fan?
Brendan. How we doing?
Another Brendan.
There
I'm
we
not
go.
sure Jamar's washed. He's like 25. I think I don't even know what age he is, but I'm guessing 25.
If you saw that catch, I hate Steelers fans.
Oh, here we go. We got some Rick. You got some.
If he's a Ravens fan, I would understand why he hates us. I'm not gonna. The Ravens should make the playoffs with our cakewalk schedule. So even as a wild card, maybe.
And the problem is they have to literally go 9-2, and then it's like iffy. Like you have to go 9-2 if you're Ravens, and your defense still is.
This might be a race to 8 or 9 in the division.
It's going to be a rough one.
I think it's that. Yeah, it might be that bad.
It's going to be a rough one.
Yeah, I know. Like Steelers have after this, it gets hard. You got Green Bay, Indy, their head coach owns Pittsburgh. You got the Chargers. You got the Ravens twice. You got the Bills. You got the Lions.
Brendan, who's your team and where are you from? Like to get to know you. By the way, if you guys are hanging out with us, hit that follow button so you know when we go live. We're live this Sunday.
How is it this kid on camera? I'm 25, damn it. Jaguars fan, okay.
Jaguars. All right. How you feeling about your Jags? How's Trevor Lawrence? You got the London.
Everything's fine. They already won their Super Bowl. They need nothing else this year.
Trevor Lawrence, bro, trusts. Okay. In T-Law, we trust. The prince that was promised for Brendan in the chat.
He's fuck, but low-key sucks.
Hey,
it's my quarterback.
There it is.
There it is. That's my quarterback.
Cowboys Super Bowl. Why are you predicting 2 chokers to make it?
I mean, the Ravens haven't. We'll see.
That would be the 2 worst defenses to ever make it.
Can we imagine? What would the over/under total in that game be if we had a Super Bowl of Ravens Cowboys?
57.5.
It's high. It's high,
dude. That game, we're getting into the 70s probably with those defenses.
Let me just say now, no offense to your pick, neither of those teams are making the Super Bowl. I'll go out on a limb and say that.
Cuban, he is on camera. That is Jamar Chase.
There you go. Yeah, let's get to this last. I think this is the last game, and then we're going to go over our best bets. Bucks and Lions. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, like I said, 5.5-point underdogs on the road. Over/under total. It was talking about high total. 52.5 in this one is. We're going to have some points. It looks like Detroit at home playing. I mean, Jared Goff at home puts up points. That's his comfort zone. Goes on the road, struggles a little bit, comes back home, gets back right. So, Scotty, your thoughts on what to expect from the Detroit Lions here at home against Baker Mayfield, who is an MVP candidate, top 3 right now as we sit in week 7.
Chris, real quick, throw me the percentage bets because I assume most bets are in Tampa in this one.
Yeah, so let's take a look at this one.
Oh, that happens, Brendan. Jared Goff is playing far better than Baker. Jared Goff has low-key been
77% of the public and 75% of the money is on Tampa.
Yeah. I'm on Detroit in this one. I have Detroit minus 5.5. I mean, a week ago, a lot of smart people were saying Detroit was the best team in football. They got beat, obviously, on Sunday Night Football by the Chiefs, but this is a team that if they get a little healthier, that offense is going to click against a Tampa defense that is not good. Tampa's without a lot of weapons in this one, unfortunately. Obviously, well, Detroit is too, but Tampa at wide receiver, I don't think you're going to have Godwin, Evans, or Igbuka.
Igbuka's out for a couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, I know he played well last week, and despite that, but like that's a lot to put on Baker against a team that in Detroit is going to score at will against this Tampa team, especially at home. My only concern in this game is Detroit is so fixated on last week. Like they're talking still about the Chiefs and the refs and the calls. I thought Detroit was a blue collar town. But what I found out this week is they're the softest city in the world, maybe.
Oh no.
Oh my goodness. Listen, you can complain about the refs all you want. You got outplayed. There is zero doubt if you watch that game that the Chiefs weren't the better team. They were. And I hope Chairman would say the same. I hope he would. Because he's a rational Detroit fan. The Lions were so soft coming out of the game. They just we're talking about this and that, and all their fans are like, "Oh, there should have been a taunting. There should have been this." I'm like, "Shut the fuck up." All right, everyone complains about the Chiefs. If the Chiefs, all right, that call on the that was late flag on the opening drive for the Lions last week, for the illegal motion, which by rule was the right call. If that would have gone the other way, if the Chiefs would have had that play and it got it taken back, no one would have cared. No one would have cared. But because it went against the Chiefs, or it went for the Chiefs and against the Lions, people are losing their fucking minds.
We're not talking about the Chiefs.
We kind of are right now.
Also, Chairman, fuck all the way off, Scotty. I've heard no one say the Chiefs didn't outplay him.
I've heard a lot of. I'm not saying anyone said who outplayed who, but I've heard a lot of bitching.
Also,
so much bitching from Lions fans this week. And then the calls weren't fair. The Chiefs didn't have any penalties against them, which isn't true because they did, but it was just declined. And the Lions had 4. I don't remember anyone complaining when the Chiefs had 13 penalties to 4 against the Jaguars the week before. I don't remember anyone being like, it's not fair against the Chiefs. No.
Can you meet him? Also in the chat, TTD Papera and Goon Grenade first time chatters.
Yeah, welcome in everybody, guys. If you're new, first of all, love to have you here. Hit that follow button if you're new, so we can get to know you a little bit better. Who are your teams? Where are you from? We got hey,
Chairman. There is no controversy because you got dominated. No offense. I think the Lions are a really good football team and going to be in the mix.
Jared.
Super Bowl potential, but last week the Chiefs were just
also, I like earlier, Brendan, Scotty, you best buddies with Chris Collinsworth.
No, I don't care about Chris Collinsworth.
There we go.
Scotty, do you got beans? I don't know what beans are. What does that mean?
Jaron, Brendan, and Goon Grenade, welcome in. By the way, Goon Grenade, Baker is about to put belt to
belt to ass.
Oh.
I listen, Baker's played phenomenal this year. What a story. I like Baker. I just think this is a bad situation for them. As long as the Lions are honed in and actually focused on the Bucs instead of the game last week. Obviously, they lose Brian Branch for a week after his punch so that hurts them a lot. But I think the Lions score a ton of points on the Tampa defense. I just don't think Tampa's defense is very good.
Yeah, no. I think, if I had a lean in this one, it just feels like a buy spot for the Lions. I think that Tampa Bay, they're a team that they're on a high right now. I feel like they're at a point where there's that come down spot. The Lions at home. Jared Goff at home is a different kind of animal. He's very good offensively. He's got that comfort zone. that he's into. Now, Baker's been making it work with what he's got. He's missing a lot of offensive talent in this game, especially from the wide receiver side. So that's what I really worry about in being able to keep up with the offense of the Lions in this one. So that's where I'm a little hesitant. It's not one of my best bets of the week, so I'm not going to push it one way or the other. But if I did have a side, it would probably lean towards, especially with all the money and the public coming hard in on this Tampa Bay team, it seems like a buy spot for the Detroit Lions to, at least from a, -5.5 in this game to get a dub in this one. Brendan, Colts run the AFC. Danny Dimes over Mahomes. Let's talk about. I'm wondering.
I don't know what there is to talk about there.
SCG, I'm waiting for Danny Dimes, but just no. Also, if you want a good side to bet on, go ahead and take the over in this game. And you got the Lions, as Chris talked about, dominant at home. You got Baker, MVP candidate. No Brian Branch. Bucks defense again, a little weak. This could easily end up being a 35-34 type game. Like the Tampa Bay Seattle game. It's good, especially, again, Goff is better than Darnold. Again, why are we having this conversation? But
I don't hate that, because I think the Lions definitely get over 30 in this game.
Yeah.
I think the Lions definitely get over 30. And then it's a question of what the Bucks put up, honestly. Everyone being like Juju deserved it. That's fine. Punch our players all you want and then get suspended for a game and see if it's worth it. He might have deserved it. I don't care. As a fan of the Chiefs, I do not care if he deserved it. Punch him all you want. They wear helmets, by the way. So punching a guy when they're wearing a helmet is just stupid.
Kind of a dumb move if you think about it. Lions' whole secondary is out or questionable. So, yeah, I mean, they're over. Yeah, the over seems.
Why is it only 52.5? Bump it up to like 54, 55.5.
Agreed. I feel like this one, I think this should probably be around 53, 54. So if anything, guys, I would probably take the under or the over in this one. By the way, the under is being bet. 66% of the public, 54% of the money is on the under. So
I think right now people are overvaluating the Bucks a little bit. I think the Bucks are a very good team, but the defense is not good. And without those three weapons, and it'll be interesting because the Lions are without a ton of their secondary, as chairman put out there too. So it could be a very back and forth, high scoring game. But right. I like the Lions to cover 5.5, and it's one of my favorite bets of the week. I put it as one of my bets, and I actually feel really good about the Lions covering the spread.
Yeah,
Bucks run D is insane.
Lions money line. Yeah, it's a little juicy. Jaron, what is it? -250, I think, is where it's somewhere in that range. -270 now, so it's a little juicy on the money line. But I mean, if you get a little juice out of that orange, just squeeze a little bit, might be worth it for you if you want to throw a little cash on the sprinkle of the Detroit money line. So,
Goon Grenade like the Lions on this one, even though Baker's a dog. Because I feel like at the end of the day, he could be throwing to you, like you and me, and he'll still find a way to put up 400 yards and a touchdown out of nothing but pure unadulterated spite.
Yeah, I mean, he lost another injury, a wide receiver to injury, and he still threw 2 long touchdowns against a decent 49ers defense. So he's getting it done, regardless of who he's throwing to, which is just a testament of how much Baker has evolved. I think the other thing, did you post this in our Discord, Rec? I think you posted the Colin Cowherd quote of just retire, Baker. Baker, just retire. Yeah. You lost. Who did you lose to? I forget. He lost to.
No, I think it was. It wasn't that he lost.
He was
before the season started. He was battling out with Kyle Trask.
Yeah,
because had not been named yet.
Exactly. And so, yeah, there's always those takes, right, that always resurface years later. Now Baker's an MVP candidate for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So go figure. Times, it's getting crazy in the NFL. We're week 7. Let's go. All right. I think that's the last one here. So here are our best bets of the week that we have going right now. Or Scott, you want to recap yours? And there's, I think, one that we did not talk about on your side that is on your best bets.
Yeah, so we talked about the 3. I have the Giants plus 7.5 in Denver. Giants with Jackson Dart, much better team. Denver offensively looks a mess right now. Give me a touchdown plus and see if Denver can do that, because they have not proven that they can really separate from teams, even bad teams, like they did against the Jets last week. Detroit minus 5.5 we just talked about. Indy plus 1.5 we talked about. I just think they're the better team in that game against the Chargers, who are a little beat up. Not really a home field advantage for the Chargers, so I get plus points with the better team. Give me the Colts. And my last one is, listen, I think Seattle's played really good football this year. I think people are a little bit sleeping on Texans. Texans won 2 straight now, coming off a bye. That defense is really, really good. I have a ton of questions about the offense with the Texans, but I think that Texans defense can lock up Seattle's offense a little bit, or quite a bit, and keep this one close, where you give me more than a field goal with the Texans against the Seattle team that I think is pretty good, but like the Texans are better than I think people realize, mostly because of their defense. I think people sleep on their defense a little bit. So give me Houston plus 3.5 on the second half of the Monday night, because we have another double header on Monday night for some.
Well, our favorite double headers. Yeah.
Also, real quick, Goon Grenade in the chat. Would current Danny Dimes be a better Eagle than Jalen Hurts?
Would current?
I would say yes.
Interesting.
I would say yes. I think Jalen, especially how Jalen's played this year. Jalen Hurts has played big in big moments in the playoffs. Obviously won a Super Bowl. He played great in the other Super Bowl he lost against the Chiefs. But this year, Jalen Hurts has been clearly bad, and Daniel Jones has played great.
And I would say Daniel Jones is doing it with a lot less. That's for sure.
And as we've been saying, like pretty much the theme of this whole stream, can't believe we're putting that out there in the world, but it's a good topic at this point.
Yeah. And again, I'll just stress that I had, if Daniel Jones starts for the Colts, they will win the AFC South. I said that before.
Current Dylan Gabriel could be a dog behind that offense. That might be pushing it a little bit.
The Eagles' offense is a mess. They don't like each other right now. They're not playing together. Can they figure it out? Because there's a ton of talent there. Yes, but I think Jalen Hurts has played very poor football thus far this year.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get to mine here. I have, you obviously heard Minnesota plus 2.5. Like Minnesota in this spot. I think it's a good spot against the Eagles. So taking them plus 2.5. I got Atlanta plus 3. Again, talked about that one over against the San Francisco 49ers. That's when we'll be watching live this Sunday night for Sunday Night Football. So make sure you tune back in. We'll be watching that one. And then we'll also be breaking down everything that took place in week 7. So make sure you stay tuned. Hit that follow button like Jaron, Brendan, and Goon did. Would love to have you back. So make sure you tune in. And then also, other ones, Cleveland minus 2.5. It's weird to think that the Browns are laying 2.5 points in 2025 right now, which is kind of crazy.
And then you're taking them.
And I'm taking them. And I'm taking them.
Where did the Browns play again this week?
The Miami Dolphins.
Jesus Christ.
So Miami Dolphins coming up to Cleveland to play this game. The locker room is a big question mark. This
is what that bet is, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tua's press conference after Sunday.
The Tua press conference where he was kind of questioning his team did not play well. There was a lot of A lot of players in that Miami locker room that were just like, I'm no comment. I don't want to talk about that. But then you also have the leadership issue. You have all of these things happening in this Miami, behind the scenes kind of situation. The Browns have the best run defense in the league. The Dolphins passing game without Tyreek Hill doesn't really scare anybody. Offensive line will have trouble protecting Tua against Myles Garrett. Also, this is the perfect defense for the Browns to face, one that managed 1 sack against the Chargers' patchwork offensive line. The Dolphins' bad secondary is a good matchup for the Browns, whoever's playing quarterback back there, Gabriel, who, some people want, some people don't. But I think this is a spot where the Browns at home, we know the Dolphins on the road aren't exactly, a juggernaut. And then you throw into the mix all these other things surrounding this team. It feels like it's a bad spot. I got Cleveland -2.5. And then finally, I got New Orleans +5.5. This just feels like too many points. Bears coming off a big Monday night win on a short week. And New Orleans, this is going to be a game where I just think they could hang in there and keep this closer. I still don't necessarily know what I'm getting week to week with the Bears offense. So New Orleans +5.5 is my other best bet. So there you go. That's how we round things up.
You think Big 44 and the Giants can keep up this output?
I actually think the hype is a little too high. I think he's been great. Like, I think he's more than they ever expected, but is he an elite running back? No, but he's fun to watch. I'm gonna watch him.
You think Jackson Dart could win MVP?
No, like
maybe a
ever
couple years down the road.
Not right now. No, not even close.
Which I think to your point of hype around Scatterboo, it's more around like his personality, like how fun he is to watch.
Well, I think personality, I think it's more like he's physical. He runs over people, and that's cool to watch. And I love watching that. I think he's very good, at that. But like, is Scatterbo moving the needle for me a lot at the running back position? In honesty, no. He'd
be a hell of a fullback.
I think Jackson Dart is much more important to the Giants moving forward than Scatterbo. Scatterbo's kind of
he's a good story. He's a
good story, but a bit of a guy. I think Jackson Dart, as I said after their first drive last week in our Discord, gives me Josh Allen vibes. Now he's got a lot to learn, and there will be, mistakes and bad games, no doubt about that. But like, the ceiling of Jackson Dart is actually really high, in my opinion.
Yeah, Jackson Dart, by the way, question, Brendan, do you think Jackson Dart could win MVP?
We just talked about that.
Oh, yeah. No. The answer is no.
Just so you know, Chris doesn't listen to us ever.
Well, I was also getting caught up in chat and some other things. And then
Rico Dowdle or Cam Scatterboo. I think that's what you mean, Jaron.
Yeah, it's hard. Cam going against Denver's defense. Rico's had 2 monster weeks back to back. It's hard to go against Rico.
Yeah. Let's just see. Carolina plays the Jets. Okay, no,
Rico Dowdle.
Rico Dowdle's definitely the pick against the Jets.
Yeah.
And as a Washington fan, what are your thoughts on Jacory Krusky-Merritt?
Brendan, best mobile quarterback of all time. Go. Like, as a full functioning quarterback, like running and throwing, or just simply the best runner of all time? Because the best runner of all time is probably either Vic or Lamar. Yeah, those are the top 2.
But dual threat, maybe you go back to Steve Young. Hey, me and Jimmy on the same page.
Full functioning. just the wording on that one.
Full functioning.
Yeah, I'm going Steve Young with Chairman.
Steve Young's a good option.
Staubach.
And people are be like, was Steve Young actually mobile because he was white? He was.
Cam Newton might be a good option. Cam Newton.
Cam Newton's peak was too short for me. There was a very defined peak for Cam Newton.
That's fair.
It wasn't long enough for me, so I'd take Steve Young over Cam Newton. But
Brandon Tarkenton. You think JCM
That
is?
was like
never-
old school.
I never saw Fran Tarkenton play. Obviously, I don't know if any of us did, but
I think Lamar, I don't think
Do
he
you
will get
think-
a ring.
I said 4 years ago that Lamar is never going to win a ring. So that
Sorry,
might be.
who's the fan? Jaren? You're the Ravens fan? Sorry about that.
I said it 4 years ago. That's why Ravens fans hate us. Because I said Lamar's never going to win a ring.
You think JCM is someone who could have a Purdy style effect and be a real difference maker?
Who? JCM?
JCM.
Ja'Cory Cross-Command, running back for the Commanders.
I mean,
The new Lord and Savior running back.
That's a very different position. No,
different-
no, he doesn't have the effect of Brock Purdy.
I mean, difference maker. He could be a
Difference maker from the
good.
seventh
He could be
round.
good, but like, I mean, are bigger running backs making differences now? I mean, Saquon isn't really making a big difference. You got Derrick Henry not making a big difference right now. Like, it's hard for. I mean, I think if you're going to say the biggest difference maker in a running back position this year, it's going to be in Indianapolis, right? I mean, that's the biggest difference maker. He's the engine of that team when it comes to what they're doing there. But otherwise, it's hard to find.
I think JCM will be a solid, but never elite running back in the league, but like really good and helpful to Washington and a great pick late in the draft. But no, he's not moving the needle a ton, in my opinion.
Also,
Do I
Jared,
want to have a sword fight? No, thank you.
If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it.
I know what it means, but no, thank you.
No.
Also, Jared,
Hard
Jared,
pass.
Fields versus Sam Darnold. That's a good question because Fields is going up against a weak defense, and Darnold's going up against a very strong one. Like, obviously, Darnold's the better quarterback at this point, but
Who's Fields playing?
Carolina.
And who's Darnold playing? Oh,
Houston.
okay, never mind.
Houston Texans.
Yeah. In fantasy, I'd lean Fields.
I would lean
Yeah.
Fields too.
Obviously, Darnold's the better quarterback this week.
Darnold's a
hopefully
better
this-
quarterback, but Fields in fantasy with the running yards can get you some.
Toxic is the Ravens fan base. It depends. Like IRL,
Not
probably
as-
not that
Not as
bad. and the
toxic as Detroit's. Dude, they suck.
Scotty is
Sorry,
so salty.
They're so butthurt after getting outplayed,
Also,
and I'm like,
Nicola,
just chill.
Let me see. Dart against the Broncos, and who's left playing the Cardinals? I'd go Jordan Love. Although on that note, I do have the Cardinals as one of my best bets at plus 6.5, just because Green Bay has not looked great.
Yeah.
Cardinals at plus 6.5. You said?
Yeah,
Are
against
they-
Green Bay
Are they playing the backup
home.
again?
in Arizona. Sorry, what?
Packers
Are
on
they
the road
playing-
in Arizona.
Is Kyler playing, or is it what's his name?
He's questionable. I think he's started practicing again.
They were almost better without Kyler. Actually, they were better without Kyler last week. With what's the backup? He's been a backup everywhere. Brissett, Jacoby Brissett. Yeah.
Yeah, Kyler Murray's still questionable. They haven't made. He was a limited participant in Wednesday's walkthrough, which makes me think he's going to try to play. So I don't know. Honest opinion, who are you picking to win a Super Bowl, Lamar or Josh Allen? I would take Josh
Josh
Allen.
Allen, he's got more of the traits easily.
Josh Allen.
I
This
don't
year he
know
hasn't
if
looked good,
Buffalo's gonna put a roster on him good enough to do it, but I'd take Josh Allen for
Yeah,
sure.
but yeah, like if you take away Josh Allen, I think like they go from like a double-digit win team to a 4 or 5 win team. There is not much there outside of tight end.
Lamar's been exposed in the playoffs. It's a fact.
Sorry, Jaron.
Sorry, Jaron. I know.
It's just a fact. He's been exposed in the
But
playoffs.
well, this was definitely an interesting chat. Lamar gets no love.
Well, I think Lamar gets
You
a
just
lot.
compared him against what I view as the second best quarterback in the league. So it's not no love, but like I'd take Josh Allen.
And I do agree. Like he's a great regular season. I mean, what's the comparison they throw him to in the NBA when they talk about it? Isn't it
Embiid?
no James Harden? Is it James Harden?
James Harden, Probably.
Where like James Harden will have a great regular season and the playoffs roll around and somehow he just can't show up.
No, it's a playoff P.
No, it's
No.
James Harden. It's Sharon, 3-time MVP. He's only 2, but I see what you're doing there. You're saying he deserved the MVP last year, but
yeah,
he's only won 2, technically.
Yeah. So I think like until Lamar can get it done in the playoffs, I feel like I would like to see that happen before I buy in on that.
Josh Allen's played much better in the playoffs historically than Lamar. Even though he hasn't got it done either because he's facing the GOAT.
So, yeah, that's yeah, you gotta look at it from that angle. Bro can't make it past the divisional. Fact, Scotty. So yeah, Tom Brady or Mahomes.
Oh God, well,
TBD. TBD.
TBD. Yeah, Mahomes definitely has the potential to get past Brady, but he hasn't played long enough to get past Brady yet. I'll leave it at that.
Sometimes it's not Lamar's fault, but like Lamar's played poorly, like mostly turning the ball over. He doesn't turn the ball over a lot in the regular season, and he gets in the playoffs, and he's a turnover merchant at times. Like, I mean, those 2 turnovers. Let's talk about the loss last year to Buffalo. He had 2 awful turnovers in that first half. He played great in the second half. That first half, he played awful, and that's why they were down. I think everyone agreed Baltimore had a better roster than Buffalo last year, and Buffalo won that game. Now, listen, there was a drop, obviously, from Mark Andrews that could have tied it up.
And
this and that. But you can't ignore the 2 awful turnovers that Lamar Jackson had in the first half of that game.
Yeah. Are there any other games, chat, that you guys were curious in talking about? I know we only talked about 8 games tonight. Are there any other games that you are interested in that you think could be really good games to talk about before we wrap the show up tonight? We already talked about the San Francisco, Atlanta, Indianapolis, and the LA Chargers, the Rams and the Jags, the Chiefs and the Raiders, the Broncos, Giants, Eagles, Vikings, the
Steelers,
Bengals and Steelers. So if there's any other games that you guys want to chat about, throw it in the chat right now, and we can get in on those. Any other fantasy advice, anything else you're looking for, throw it in.
Also, Sky, just so you know, I also got Giants plus 7.5.
Sweet. Changing my pick again.
Changing my
You're
pick.
all Broncos.
Yeah, Jaron, we talked about Broncos. We lean towards all of us
The
are
Giants.
leaning towards the Giants getting points.
You're leading. Me and Scotty are going that way.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm leaning that way. It's not my bet of the week, but Scotty has his official bet 7.5. Rec sounds like his official bet 7.5.
Yep.
And then we
my biggest concern is it feels too obvious. Actually, it feels too obvious. That's my biggest concern with that bet. Is somehow everyone's going to pour money on New York after watching them dominate the defending champs last week on Thursday, and you watch the Broncos look like shit against the winless team in the league, and now they're 7.5-point favorites. It feels obvious. That's my biggest concern in that game.
Feels trappy. Browns and Dolphins.
Wins by 8.
Browns and Dolphins, we kind of talked about in my best bet. I have Cleveland minus 2.5 for a lot of reasons, mainly because of the locker room in Miami. They're on the road. It's just a good matchup. It's a tank bowl. Browns.
I'm actually shocked you're betting that game. I wouldn't touch that game. I just don't know how you can trust any of those teams.
Yeah, I'm leaning into the fact that the Dolphins are an absolute mess, and they just don't play well on the road. And it's just a bad spot for them here. Bad matchup, bad spot, bad locker room, and bad leadership.
After getting his payday, Myles Garrett has been a ghost this season. Again, he was good in weeks 1 and 2, but he's just given up.
This week is a get right spot if you're gonna get after.
For which team?
For the
Option
Browns.
C,
For the
yes.
Browns.
Well, I think he was talking about Miles
Garrett, basically. If he's gonna have a good game, I think this might be the one. That whoever loses fires coach. Well, we already had one fired coach this past
We
week.
did.
Yeah, I do like that. Whoever loses fires this coach. Whoever wins fires the coach. I like that.
We can should we get that going?
Checks
you know,
Roger.
you
Checks
know,
out.
checks
Yeah,
out.
I love.
Yeah.
Also,
So
speaking of the coach being fired, that's probably gonna be a low key good game just because of the boost you get for firing a coach.
yeah, I don't know if I love it still. Like, I mean, I normally would be all over that. Like you,
Who, Tennessee?
Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee, New England, and
Nor-
Nashville.
Normally, I would be all over it and be like, "Man, you fire a coach, you get that boost." What's the spread of that game? That game
I see it at 6.5 on the Super Contest.
is it okay? So, but I still like.
Like I'm not betting. It's not one of my official bets.
Ugh. It's
Yeah.
7 right now. Tennessee plus 7.
It's like, again,
I get-
obviously Patriots far better team, far better coaching staff, but you get the boost. Mike McCoy is the interim coach. He's very basic. He's very vanilla, not good for the long term. But short term, coming off that disaster,
I would
maybe he
lean.
could be a little something.
I would lean Titans in this one. I think the Patriots are getting a little overrated right now.
for a roster that's not exactly a top roster in the NFL. I mean, Drake May is single-handedly making them overrated to what your point is. Like, they're high on a lot of people.
People trying to put Drake May in like the MVP mix.
No,
Let's chill.
He's not up there.
Let's chill a little bit.
Yeah.
That's why I think they're too high.
Gotta chill.
Like, I think people are getting a little too high after a big win against Buffalo, but we watched Buffalo just get their ass kicked on Monday night following that. And then, neat, you beat the Saints. Congrats.
74% of the publics and 79% of the money all on the New England Patriots, plus at -7. So
I do like all the questions rolling in. It's great to have these conversations.
let's go. Dwayne Ravens thinks Harbaugh needs to go. Who are you picking up as a replacement?
Yeah, I said it last week. I think Harbaugh is like in the same tier of wash as Mike Tomlin is for Pittsburgh. It's like, yeah, they did great things in the past. They got the Super Bowl, but it's time to move on. Find a new voice to help lead the team.
We'll see. I don't know if they'll push that button, but they could.
Robert Saleh. I mean, he just got back over to San Francisco.
No, he's not a head coach. He's the DC.
No,
He
he just got back. He just got back to San Francisco. So I mean, is he going to bounce right back into a head coaching?
No.
I don't think so. Not right away. I wouldn't think so. Yeah, keep the questions rolling in, guys. We have a couple more minutes left in the show, so make sure you get them in. By the way, if you guys are just joining us for the first time, my name is Chris. This is Scotty. We are your hosts for the ActionLab Sports Channel. We are here every Wednesday and Sunday. We also, if you guys love talking basketball, we're going to be mixing in a lot of NBA talk very, very soon to preview the NBA season. And then we're going to start talking maybe some NBA on maybe some Thursday nights. We'll see. So make sure you guys are, if you're into some of the other sports that, Major League Baseball or NHL.
You watch them at UFC, Chris. I do not.
I
but
watch.
you do.
We complement each other in a lot of ways, Scotty. Like the sports you watch and the sports that I watch are kind of like we have more of an emphasis in the opposite sports in some ways, and some of these like peripheral sports like UFC. But yeah, we have a good coverage between the two of us across the board.
Brendan with the single worst take I've ever heard.
I think I love Brendan's take here.
That
I do
is
too.
wild.
I love that take.
Wild take. It's wrong, but it's fine. You
I
can
mean,
have your opinion. Everyone can have their opinion. It's just
that's
wrong.
why my content is to make a little more money.
I won't get into that. I'll leave that alone. But good for you, Red.
Brendan, wait, Sky's on the right. I take it back.
yeah. No, it's we actually
Thank
Rec
you.
is the
Yeah,
one that
I
like,
am Scotty. I'm a smart one.
Rec
You're the
noticed.
salty one.
I am saltier as well, for sure.
Either way,
Yes, push up, Scott. My fault, Scotty.
Thank you.
Scotty Miller, Steelers legend.
Scotty Miller.
Scott is cooking. Thank you, Goon Grenade. Appreciate that.
I mentioned this, I think, before you got on, Scotty. I love how the best bet is flipped from where you're actually sitting.
Yeah, so it's like
Oh, that is confusing.
it
right
is.
now,
It is a
so
little confusing,
Yeah.
and it's always been that way. It's been that way for 4 years.
I've never even thought about it once.
It's been that way for
So-
Yeah,
4
I
years,
didn't either.
and
I was
we.
just looking at it before the stream.
you know.
I'm like, wait a minute, something seems wrong.
It's just the way it was built, and then the way we set it up. It's just we just never went back and fixed it. So there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, make sure you guys hit that follow button. Scotty knows ball. He just doesn't know Detroit and loses all objectivity on everything or anything involving the Chiefs. You got
Incorrect.
Chairman salty tonight.
Yeah, it's salty, but like, clearly he's saying I should get over it, but he's not over it. So,
I think he's just not over you.
well, I listen. Detroit fans have looked soft as fuck this week. I never saw it coming, but they were embarrassing after the game. They were embarrassing. You lost.
I would say his Chiefs takes
convincingly. It wasn't even close. You lost.
Okay, and that's the show.